The emergence of the candidate Osinbanjo, vice presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress for the 2015 elections. We are being joined by the chairman of the Editorial Board of Nations newspaper, Mr. Sam Omatseye. Thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah. How did you react to the emergence of Professor Osinbanjo?
Well, Professor Osinbanjo is somebody I've known for over the years. He's a very level-headed man. As you all know, he's a senior advocate of Nigeria. He was Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Lagos. He's a man with very formidable bona fides, and a man of integrity and a man of strong, pious background. So you couldn't have made any mistake choosing a man like Professor Osinbanjo as a partner, you know, in battling for the sweepstakes of Nigerian presidential elections.
Let us first of all ask, maybe we should start from here. Of what electoral value is the role or the position of the vice presidential candidates? Because it would seem that a host of things came to play when these candidates were being proposed.
Yeah.
The candidates who were eventually put forward for selection. And Nigerians seem to have their, so to speak, their preferences or their leanings or their projections, so to speak. What do you think influenced this?
A lot of things influence the picking of vice president, and the opinion that is sometimes bandied about that the vice president is not important to a ticket is one of the myths of political history, not only here, even in the United States, especially in the presidential system. There used to be a joke that there was a famous twin. One was vice president, the other drowned, and none of them were remembered by posterity. So some people believe that, but that is not true. The reason for that kind of view is when you have a monarchical kind of president, president that, or presidential candidate that so dominates the ticket that it's as if he is like the monarch, like the king or the emperor of that ticket. But increasingly, with the democratization of human societies, we have found that the vice president serves as a very critical part of that ticket. And we also saw that in the case of Clinton Gore. And they said, well, this is a generational statement. Both of them were Southerners, both of them were Christians, both of them were of the same generations, both of them were coming out from the baby boom. We also had that of Cheney and Bush. Bush was a little on the wild side, and they had a person with some kind of gravitas in Cheney to stabilize the ticket. Then we have Obama. Obama, who is black, and they needed a little old man with some kind of trust, who is a white man, to give some kind of solidity and serve as a coolant to the fears and the nerves of the white people. So to say that the vice president is not important is one of the myths of political history, and contemporary experience has shown that. And we have seen that in this case here, because you can see that even in the APC, the struggle to get the presidential partner, that is the vice president, was even more intense than getting the president.
But that struggle, or that length of time it took to bring about Professor Osinbanjo is causing reactions around.
It's very good for your democracy. You wanted to somebody could just come and say, that is your vice president, and then it's all a done deal. It shows that there are so many interests, because democracy is about the aggregation of interests. So, there are so many interests.
But does it not paint a picture of the fact that thought was not put into the elections and planning for the elections ahead of the primaries?
No. In fact, it shows that this is a vibrant political organization. Look, APC is not PDP in the sense that it is one party. APC is ACN, it is ANPP, it is CPC, it is ABGA, it is so many things put together. It means so many tendencies put together. And you could see that many people were afraid that, well, maybe after, in the aftermath of the presidential election, there was going to be some kind of division of fissures within the party because of the level and the personality, the level of the personalities that were contending for the election. They discovered that. But it was also kudos to those who organized it, that where they said there had to be an agreement that whoever wins, everybody lines behind. And it happened that way. In the case of the vice presidential pick, tensions came. There's so many interesting personalities, all of them probably qualified. But the point is, who will be the right fit? Who will be the consensus person? So that is how democracy works. Democracy is like making sausage. It's never good. It's never good when you are making it. But when you put it on your table, I'm sure, Mark, where you like it when you eat it.
Well, whether I like sausage is a different question altogether. But, you know, definitely, I mean, the APC put a lot of things into consideration. We've seen some things come out in recent times, or even on the front pages now. The former leader of the ACN, Ahmed Tinubu, why I declined to be running mate. When people were talking about, or when, you know, possible candidates, likely candidates were being pushed forward. Yes, Yemi Osinbanjo was there, the governor of Lagos State was there, the governor of Rivers State. We also saw the governor of former governor of Ekiti State. But nobody even thought that the former leader of the ACN wanted...
was in contention.
Yes.
Well, that made it very interesting, didn't it? It gave us a lot of headlines.
So did they buckle under pressure then, in terms of, you know, this Muslim ticket? That was something that was also being, you know, bandied around. Yeah, the APC shouldn't consider Muslim ticket.
The issue was really made about Muslim ticket, Christian Muslim ticket. That's what you have in PDP, Christian Muslim ticket. Now that we have...
It's also something you have in the APC now.
Yes, now when you have Christian Muslim ticket and you have a Muslim Christian ticket, as our problem is solved now, it now shows that our problem is not Christian Muslim ticket, Muslim Christian ticket. The problem is there. Let us now face it. If the problem was Christian ticket or Muslim ticket, they would have said, well, the problem of Nigeria is over. Now let's go to heaven. Well, there's no heaven coming now, because you discovered with your first guest that we have a budget that is all taking the country down.
Well,
that's what we have.
That is
that's the issue.
That's arguable, but you know.
Let us look at it.
Just a moment,
hold on a second. Let's look at it. Let's look at it this way. We no longer have the problem about whether it's a religious ticket or not a religious ticket. Now we have to go back to governance. We have to look at the fact that many people cannot afford 3 square meals. We have to consider the fact that the price of oil is falling down. It is going below 60%, and we are saying that the benchmark is 65. What kind of mathematics is that for somebody who went to Bretton Woods? It should probably qualify.
Just a moment, sir. You know, let's come back to, you know, the politics of this.
Yes.
In terms of why we picked this, because you have said that.
Yes.
You know, we now have. Both parties are fielding Christian Muslim tickets, and you're saying that is not our problem. You know, we should come back to the brass tacks of governance. But it was seen that this particular party, the APC, has buckled under pressure. That is what has happened. If we're to go by the words, even though a lot of people did not know he was in contention, but if we're to go by his words, it will mean that he buckled under pressure to actually field a Muslim Christian ticket.
No. What he was saying was that he wanted to run, but he was running to prove that the problem of Nigeria is not whether I'm a Muslim or I'm a Christian. Because the Muslim, the road does not tell you that this is a Muslim. The akara you're going to eat this morning does not tell you whether I will digest in a Christian stomach or in a Muslim stomach. It doesn't tell you that. The drug that you use for malaria does not tell you that.
Then? Why do you think they didn't take the risk? Why didn't they push that forward and say to Nigerians, we've done this before, we can do it again?
Maybe it was important for them to do it this way, to prove to Nigerians, finally, that the most important thing for us is not to concentrate on the religious background of the contestants, but look at governance, look at the welfare of Nigeria, look at the situation now where the Naira has now plummeted to somewhere close to 190. That's his problem. It needed to be done. It's almost like a child who is hungry and who says, I want to eat, and then you want cookies, okay, I'll give you cookies. Now fill the table with cookies, now finish this cookie. Then you discover that your problem is not cookies, but greed.
Okay, now let us look at this. Even though I'm wondering how that particular instance fits in here.
It fits in because...
Look at this. Now they picked a candidate and they have a Muslim Christian ticket, and they're saying that they want to face the issue of governance.
Competence.
You know, but people will wonder, if you say that the vice presidential candidate does have some electoral value, does pull some weight, people will ask, what political weight does the former Attorney General of Lagos pull?
The question is that what weight does he not pull? He is a man who has been in governance for 8 years in the state, in Nigeria's most pivotal state, the state of example.
But he's never contested for any elective position.
He doesn't have to have contested for an
him?
elective position. You don't contest for an elective position until you contest for one. In other words, you have to look at the track record. One, the man has very strong bona fides as a pursuer of the rule of law. Two, is a man of integrity. In a situation where we say $12 billion is missing and we cannot account for it, and we said we have a report and we can't see it and nobody can see it, we need people like this who can come out and say, this is what the law says, this is the process, let us get on with it.
Are you saying that Professor Osinbanjo is the joker for the APC?
Well, that's what the APC thinks. And we are going to see.